Welcome to another episode of ABR Access. We're out in the studio this afternoon.
Yep.
Willow, it's a Wednesday afternoon, looking ahead to this Saturday, and we'll run through, obviously, last week's results. How you been, mate?
Very well, mate. It's been a good week. We obviously had the winter parade up at Angaston on Sunday. It was a really good turnout and had a great time and had plenty of good owners there. So also had a win on the weekend, so that was nice, and got some nice horses heading to the races Saturday.
Yeah, a bit going on, as usual, around Angaston and the like with the races and everything. We've got plenty to talk about. We'll be guestless again, unless we have a surprise visit from what's becoming kind of everyone's favourite guest. I remember on Sunday it got mentioned quite a few times. We'll touch on the open day shortly, but the cat, Kilo, visiting the podcast studio. The door is slightly ajar for him today, so he may find his way in, but hopefully not, because he is...
Get a bit of airtime, bit of me time.
He's really driving me up the wall with that. But on that, probably a good place to start would be our open day on Sunday. Then we'll work back through some horsey stuff and some results, because we got a winner. But Sunday, winter parade, open day out at Angaston.
Yeah.
Talk us through how the day went, kind of.
Awesome. I think we did nearly 100, I think you guys said. And, awesome. Kai and Emily did a breaking in demonstration, which was really well received. Obviously had Bethany Wines out there doing a tasting through one of our good owners and good mate, Brodie Smith, who's involved with Bethany Wines, beautiful wines, and that added to the day. We had the boys on the barbecue. We had a slight hiccup with the coffee machine. We got that underway, and then, it all went really well. Obviously showed some nice horses and had some, I guess, great feedback from owners. Yeah,
it was a terrific day out, and being in the middle of winter, it can be a bit tricky. We've touched on quite a lot how the racing industry has been affected by bad weather, but that certainly wasn't the case on Sunday. It was some of the best work from Angaston we've seen in a while.
It was unbelievable. It's been really good up there probably the last week. I was even up there all day yesterday, and even in the afternoon it was beautiful. So that was good for the horses and good for the attendees on the day. Yeah,
it was a really good day out, so appreciate everyone's support with that. We do actually we might touch on towards the end of the pod, but we've also got our season launch coming up on Saturday the 8th of August. Really good attendance already for that, locked in. So if you are looking at coming, I would probably sort that out as soon as possible, because I reckon we're down to like 15 seats left.
Possibly even less. So it is going to be a great day as well. So
really looking forward to that. As we said, the weather's been great and it's been good for our horses, and we managed to break through for a winner on Saturday. Probably a good place to start would be our runners there. We had multiple tracks to cover. We had Mildura as well as Morphettville. Where should we start? Should we start with Mildura and then we'll finish?
Let's get through that, eh?
Yeah, we'll start there with Mildura. We had early in the day we had Blackjack for Mr. Wayne Mitchell. Terrific effort, I thought, second up for us. He went to the front and was too strong.
He was, great to get another win for Wayne, who's obviously a huge supporter of ours. The horse did a great job. First up, he was probably got softened up on speed in a fast race and still whacked away well to finish third. Bit of a different scenario on Saturday. We stayed at the 1200. He found the front. Really nice ride from Ryan. Didn't overtax him early to put him under too much pressure, and that meant he got a pretty soft lead. He was challenged at the 200 and he dug deep and won well. Ran some good time late, so that was good to see.
Yeah, really proud of him. He obviously trialled quite well leading into the prep and thought a win wouldn't be too far away. And nice to get the monkey off the back there, and hopefully a couple more winners to come. But outside of that, we had Mildura. We had Lovey No for the great man Nick.
Yes.
Didn't get a lot of airtime last week, my girl Lovey, but she ran, I thought, a really respectable race on Saturday.
100%. So obviously there was two options last week when we ended up going to Mildura, just because we didn't want to be caught on the inside at Murray Bridge, and I think it was a good decision in the end. She went back. The race was run really fast up front. She kind of couldn't keep up, which is to be expected. And then, I think at the top of the straight, she was still 2 lengths last, and she was absolutely rattled home some of the best splits of the day. And, if you watch past the post, 200 metres past the post, she's well in front. And I know Emily, who was on track for us, did a great job. She said it took them about another 5 minutes after the winner had come in to get her back. So she was hard to pull up, looking for a bit more distance, which is exciting.
Yeah, really, really good effort from Lovey. I know on face value, looking, where did she finish? She might have run 7th or 8th, like that.
But
you go back, it was actually a really good run. Then we had our mate, I Love News, who I stupidly made a bet last week. I think I gave him quite a good push off of his track work, and he half let us down again on Saturday.
Yeah, look, I mean, to be honest, the bet wasn't horrible at 40 to 50 to 1. He ended up being like, he wasn't. I don't think he was horrible. It didn't really suit him with how the race was run. Ryan mentioned post race, he just thought he was looking for further. His best work was on the line and past it. So look, he's going to go to a mile race at Murray Bridge in week and a bit's time, and he should run well.
Yeah, we'll look for him to bounce back. Then we move on to HQ, where we were out at Morphettville on Saturday, Willow. Yep. Kicked off the day with, we had 2 runners, but kicked off the day with Metrical. Yep. He was outstanding, I thought, running second.
Yep, ran really well. Very honest horse. He doesn't really throw in many bad ones. No. And look, the race just wasn't one to suit for him. He's obviously a horse that needs to be close enough to them to let his turn of foot bring him into the race. And this early part of the race was quite slow, and then Isaac on the winner and a leader just put the foot down at the 800 and put 4 or 5 lengths on the field. He was travelling well until then, and then was chasing, which is not his best recipe. Jacko did a good job, went inside runners and chased well, but and obviously finished second, which is great. But yeah, look, just not his great setup for him. Still ran well, and very pleased for the owners for him to, I guess, put another one on the board in terms of a good run. But he can certainly win a race next start with the right setup.
Yeah, he's really knocking on the door, that horse. I was really proud of his effort, and it was just a shame that horse did get away on the corner. Outside of that, then we moved on to the Sires Produce, which we had Mountain Devil. Obviously, a bit of a disappointing result. He dropped out and didn't quite finish off the race how we would have liked, but he's off for a break, Willow. Yeah,
so obviously going into it with 2-year-olds, you're never quite sure if whether they're still with you or they need the break, and he obviously did need the break. It was a fast run race. He was close to that speed, and Jacko was very kind to him. He knew once he kind of dropped out, he didn't put him under pressure, given we didn't want to overtax him. And yeah, he's pulled up fine, but he just obviously needs the paddock, as a young horse can do. Still have a lot of time for the horse. Very confident he's going to be a really nice miler, even further probably in time. He just wasn't with us on Saturday, and that's what was the result. But that happens with young horses, and I know some of the ownership group may be disappointed, but look, please stick with us and back us in, because we're confident the horse is going to do a good job for us.
He's always been one that we thought would be better the further he gets into his career, and he's still a really exciting horse, that one that we think will progress as a 3-year-old. So
yeah, and I think if you think about it, the winner of the race, Neville, he jumped out alongside it at the start of the prep, so he's got the ability. He's going to come good.
Better horse than what he showed on Saturday. No guest this week, however, we do have something in the pipeline really exciting. So stick fat.
I think a couple of weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, just working through some legal legalities, I guess you should say, and just making sure we're getting covered all bases, but very exciting guest.
There's something coming, so you won't have to just see our mugs in future episodes. Before we kind of get into our weekend preview, just to break it up a little bit rather than we just get too focused on race results, we did get an interaction from one of our owners and someone who's been tuning in. Firstly, the continued support and feedback's been fantastic from everyone who's tuned in. I, again, got lots of comments on Sunday and at the races and everything, so we really appreciate that people are actually watching, all 3 of you. That was great. And then we've had someone chime in, Chris, who's a really good supporter of the stable, asking about our selection process with not only like our yearlings and our young horses, but also our tried horse. Purchases. So that's definitely something we can touch on, because that's your realm, Willow. But maybe we'll kick it off with yearlings, as brief as we can. I know there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it, but
there is.
How do you, if you were to kind of give a basic wrap on how you would select our yearlings, do that, and then we'll go through our kind of tried horses.
So for each sale, I'll go over and do the first looks, go through every horse in the sale, usually break down a list. So maybe 400 horses in the sale, I might get it down to 80, hopefully. Sometimes it's harder.
I reckon you've nearly come back with a list of about 300 of the 400 before.
Yeah, it depends which sale. But Ned's not too happy when I produce that for him. But Ned and Aaron will come across then, and then we'll go through second looks. And then from that list, get down to about 30, and then we might do a third look, and then from that list, we might get down to 20. Then we'll vet that 20, put a price on them, and from there, the vet might roll out a few, or we might have to change pricing on a few, and then we'll go have a crack at buying them. We use a pedigree program called Pedigrees 360. That kind of just gives us, I guess, a deeper look into their pedigree. It goes back 9 generations, which means that sometimes the hype and commercially viable stallions that people all are about obviously come up well most of the time, but then you got some other sires or I guess other pedigrees that might stand out on this program, which I think gives
slip under the radar.
Yeah, you might get a bit of value in that side. So we use that. I also do work on each farm, so in terms of how many winners to runners, how many stakes winners, etc. And from there, that gives us an idea around pricing. So yeah, there's a bit that goes into it. There's probably a bit more that don't need to go into now, but yeah, it is a long process, but it's an enjoyable one for sure.
Yeah, and in terms of the kind of long listing to short listing, so there'd be multiple factors other than like just the breeding page, but also on type and how they present at the sales and obviously their family and their pedigree. So it's a big process that I'm sure we'll be happy to run you through in detail.
No, but absolutely. And you come across to the sales if you want. You just got to make sure you buy a horse when you come across. But yeah, look, obviously type is probably the most important thing. Like when they come out, how they walk. Their physique is huge, but there's obviously another, and that's what I go through and do those first looks. I know what Ned and Aaron are looking for, or most of the time. Sometimes they come across and say, "What the hell are you looking at?" But,
couple of curveballs.
Yeah, that's all right. I've got my own thoughts, but I just got to get it past the big bosses.
Yeah, and of this crop of yearlings, if you were to just I'm going to put you on the spot here, but if you could have one that you loved the most on type, who of our current crop of yearlings walked out and you were like, "Holy moly, this is a really nice horse"? I can think of who I think it is, but.
I love them all. Like, we didn't buy one that we didn't love. Like, to be honest, absolutely love them all. I thought probably it's a toss up between the St. Mark's,
the Paper Plains filly,
or in the Congo in terms of type that walked out and I said, "Yep, we need this one." And I think those two. But honestly, even the Dundee filly we bought in Melbourne, I absolutely loved her from day dot as well. But again, we only buy the ones we love. We're not buying stuff that
for the sake of it.
Yeah, just so it's basically most of them or all of them that we loved.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't give Riverflow a mention there. I think she is absolutely outstanding.
I think that Ned was smitten with her. Hang on, here we go.
The cat is going to attempt to enter the room here, but he's a bit sheepish. So I think he's he's copped a warning from last week.
Here he is.
Really appreciate that, Will. What about, just quickly, we've still got a bit of time to cover the tried horses as well. I imagine similar, but a little bit different.
Yeah, so that's obviously being an absolute racing nuffy. I follow most races, so I have some idea of most horses that come up on the sales, whether it be English Online, is usually the general one we use. And then obviously there's also a lot of data on those horses. So with the programs we use, whether it be Form King or Top Rate, you get their runs. We have to then look through their rating, which is very important, whether we can place them here. And that's what we take a lot of time thinking about, what races they can actually win and whether they're going to carry the weights or be in the right race and suitable options for them here, because you might buy a horse rated 90 here and you just only have a handful of options to run them in, whereas if you're buying them at say 60 in terms of rating, there's a lot more options and they just have to be able to run to a standard to win them. Yeah,
that's a good example. Would be like your Sweet Talking Girl. She's come over with such a winnable rating. Like, you can place her in races that will really suit. A bit like Officiate as well. There was still room to move there with him. And hence he's finding himself in a nice race this Saturday. And
he's on the higher end, obviously, because he was in group races. A 70 but because of his ability, he's been running in Group 1s. You're backing yourself. He's still a Class 1, so theoretically he could run in a Class 1 race at the moment, which does give you a fair bit to work with.
Yep, and we really appreciate the support of the cat's tail just roaming around as he leaves us. So an absolute pleasure to have him in the room once again. So thanks for that, Kilo. We might look ahead now. Thanks for wrapping that up. We'll get through to a weekend preview. Really exciting weekend, I would say.
Yes.
Another stakes runner, Zouwin, will go around. But as we just touched on, a nice segue would be Officiate running around at this Saturday over a mile after his really encouraging first up run. We might start with him being earlier in the card. What are your thoughts heading in? He's drawn an inside gate for Jackson Murphy with the 60 kegs again.
Yes, big weight, but it's obviously all relative. He's earned that weight with his rating, as we spoke about. Barrier 1, look, the rail is out on Saturday. Obviously, the track hopefully has been drying out a little bit. I know we got a bit of rain this morning, but look, he won't be too far away from the good draw. He obviously ran super first up. Getting to a mile is absolutely his pet distance. Horse has worked twice since his last run, gone super on both occasions, worked well yesterday. I know you were there to witness that. He was absolutely jogging. So, look, great spot. Very happy with the horse. I think he goes very close Saturday.
Goodness me, my eyes have genuinely just lit up because I've seen the prices as they've appeared on Saturday.
Hang on.
What price without having a look?
Need to get on.
What do you think, Officiate on Saturday?
Well,
because we're doing this recording on a Wednesday afternoon. I think I said Thursday earlier, but it's Wednesday. Prices have just lobbed.
Well, I would have him on a quick look. I would have him $5.
He's $9.50.
Okay, I'm gonna have a bet.
So he's $9.50. Now we move on. One race later, the Lightning Stakes.
Yep.
Cavalry Girl, your short price favourite, Willow, $3.30 into $2.40 early.
Yes.
So been well backed.
What's Zouwin?
Never Ordinary, $3.70. And Zouwin, you scroll down, $201.
No way.
I swear to God.
Okay, I gotta have a bet as well.
She's 200-1. Off of what was
201?
She's 200-1. Stylish Sparkle is 400-1.
200-1.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 here that are over 100-1. Very bizarre market looking at this.
200-1. Okay.
We're doing this.
Are you sure that's right?
I swear to God. Look at that.
Sports bet. I need a sports bet. Anyone out there who's got a sports bet? You can
I don't have a sports bet account, so I can't.
Okay.
We
encourage ambitious placement. It looks like then.
Yeah, I don't know. So obviously she's come through a run first up where she ran 4th. She didn't she didn't repeat her performance on debut where she won, but she settled in behind him, and I thought rounded off the race okay, considering she'd missed that trial. We did kind of have that in the back of our minds heading in first up, but I thought she's come through the run super, and key gear change on Saturday. She gets the blinkers for the first time, and we touched on the work of Officiate on Tuesday. He was dynamic as he has been in his recent work, but Zouwin, blinkers on first time, a little bit of a question mark how she would handle it. I thought she galloped enormous on Tuesday.
Yeah, she's super. Look, first up, I think we've spoken about it enough, but she was underdone going to first up. It was just a bad setup. It didn't play out for her on the wet track. Obviously, we hope it keeps drying out for Saturday, but she kind of got a bit lost in behind horses for the first time. So we put the blinkers on her yesterday at trackwork, got her to sit behind the stablemate, and she absolutely bolted past the horse, so in front of her, and it kind of broke his heart, to be honest. So we think she is going to run very well. I cannot believe 201.
I'm organising someone to back it for me now.
I'm trying to put a fair bit on for me as well. I'm trying to concentrate, but I'm very anxious.
Bit rattled.
I just want some other markets to go up, to be honest. But anyway,
this is like very unorganised. Like this is not pre-planned or anything. The odds have just come out.
I can't believe it. I'm rattled. But anyway, that's good. Please don't crush it.
No, we're saying bet responsibly, and this won't come out until Friday.
I'm just worried about someone moving the price too much. But anyway, that's fine. We'll see how we go. She's going to run well. It's a big step up. The favourite for Dabinigs is a very good horse and will be hard to beat, and there's no doubt about it. She has to step up and improve a couple of lengths to be winning the race, but I think she's in a good spot, and it's a great... it's a good race for her to learn into her preparation anyway. Yeah,
again, face value, she ran 4th after coming off a debut win first up, but we weren't too disappointed knowing what we had in store for her.
Well, if you take a line through Never Ordinary, so what was that, $3?
Mm-hmm.
So Verzane beat that horse.
Yeah.
And we beat Verzane.
Yes.
And we're 200-1.
I can see how you've made that, yeah.
Anyway, that's interesting. But look, let's finish the podcast. I need to go down the tab.
No, we need to focus up. We've got runners on Sunday as well. We'll have the 2 going around likely.
Yeah,
we're saying.
So both will accept at this stage. I'm going to talk with Aaron and Ned tonight on that, but likely both accept. Maybe only one of them goes in Sungazer and winning all round, but both in good spots. Yeah.
Outside of that, we've got some for the track work whispers. We got through our trials last week. We did the podcast while they were on. I thought Shady Thinker was really good. We touched on last week, and I thought Winning All Round actually trialled quite well as well. He only had a short gap, a short break where he freshened up, but he's come back and seems to be in a good spot. So
he's probably a good one for track work whispers. He worked with Officiate yesterday and was still very good as well. So he's probably one that I think can do a good job for us this week.
He actually won at Balaclava the first time he went there, but then threw the race away, so he lost his protest. Outside of that, Track Work Whisper for this week, we've actually got really exciting that we wanted to touch on is a couple of yearlings, rising 2, heading to the gallops on the flat for the first time this Friday. A really exciting pair of colts. One is Tornado colt out of Baccarat Baby. Now, for those who are in Will's boat of being a racing nuffy, he is the full brother to a horse that Chris Waller trains called Trombolt, who won the JJ Atkins Group 1 undefeated colt. So obviously a high-priced horse that we've been sent and lucky enough to be getting prepared for headliner,
Yes.
as well as a really well-bred son of Zoostar out of Clear for Takeoff. So he's quite a flashy grey colt. They will head to the track for the first time on Friday. So excited to see what they do.
So we can, maybe even we can talk through that and next week, and maybe even chuck up their gallop or something like that. But two nice horses going well. They're really progressing well.
Well, we've previewed all of our runners. Now, I wanted to bring into a new segment as we get up towards 20 minutes on this, but I think it is worth touching on. A segment going forward would be a data-based segment. If anyone has a name suggestion, please send something in, but at the moment I've just got it called the data segment, where we break down a little bit. Yeah, no, I put the thinking hat on for that one. So where we break down some of our horses' data. So during their fast work throughout the week, Will, you might be better equipped to explain this, but our horses will wear a tracker that records data such as their recovery and their stride length and frequency, etc., and obviously their times. So on a weekly basis, we might pick a focus horse, or we might pick an anomaly where we've seen a horse really jump out of the ground in terms of their data, or a piece of data that might explain why a horse has run the way it has. But tell us a little bit about how you what the data gathers and how you use it as part of our training.
Yeah, so essentially we use the Araneo Equimeter. So it's basically like a Garmin or Apple Watch for the horse. It tracks, obviously, times, sectionals. It has everything from stride length, stride frequency. It has their heart rate, their recovery, how well they're recovering, how quickly. And then it also gives you stuff like their trot and their symmetry when they trot. So, if there are some imbalances there, that shows up pretty quickly, and then I can flag that with Ned and Aaron and say, maybe we need to trot this horse up, or if they've got a really high recovery, maybe they might be crook or they're feeling pain somewhere. So it's an invaluable tool for us. The most important thing is looking at the horse and understanding the horse. So, the data can only tell you one thing, and having that feel for the horse, which Aaron and Ned are great at, that's the most important thing. And I just have to help them along if I notice something and we can flag it. Sometimes it can be absolutely nothing. Sometimes it can be something. But to have the more information at your fingertips, the better. And we just kind of work together on that. I've done a course through Araneo that basically teach you about how to use the data, how to turn it into a database, and how to make sure you're on top of anything that pops up. But it is a handy tool, and certainly, I guess we don't have one horse to talk about today. But one time where it was handy, but we probably would have worked it out anyway. Was the Great Shady Thinker. He was we obviously got him as a yearling, and he took a while to get to a jump out. And anyway, so we finally jumped him out at Gawler one day, and we just started using the Araneo Equimeter. Anyway, they jumped out, and he basically blew up the clock. We hadn't seen a horse go that fast using it, and he's an unraced 2-year-old that had hardly had a flat gallop. And I told Aaron and Ned, I think the thing's broken because nothing's gone this fast before, and it was just over a 600-metre jump out. And they're like, oh, okay. Ned was like, he did look pretty quick doing that because I think he half missed a start or something. Anyway, so we're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Maybe it's broken. We'll just check it. And we jumped him out the next week, and he went faster. And we're like, oh, actually, maybe this horse is very fast.
So you knew pretty early through the data that we had a nice horse.
Well, we didn't. Yeah, we couldn't. Honestly, hadn't seen one go that fast. So that was a nice story to see. It's obviously it goes the other way sometimes as well. But look, I think we can try and integrate this into the podcast, and maybe we'll focus on a horse, and maybe you can show up. We can actually chuck up on the screen. The key parameters that comes up after a gallop, and so you guys can see a bit more and learn a bit more.
Obviously very handy as well, because you can create a profile on a horse, and you can kind of see how they've worked and how they're improving into their preparation. So if you might look on face value and see a horse might have galloped a little bit poorly, and you've got the data to back that up based off its entire profile to date. So really handy tool. And is Shady one of the ones that kind of blows up the data the best? Is he the best one that you've seen on data? Is there one that maybe
he would be right? He would be the best, I think. I mean, when dual pressure's up and firing, he's been very good. Dubai Focus, another one, a bit different though. He just goes absolutely rapid for 1,000 meters, and when he was up and firing as a 3-year-old, he would runs some seriously fast 1,000-meter times. But look, I mean, I think Zouwin has another one that can go, she's done some really very fast gallops. Same with Cathay Express has been very good in that sense. So
there's one probably that is just returned from a break that we don't want to put any extra pressure on her.
No.
But is one that can put up some really good numbers in the data. So hopefully she can progress. This preparation she'll be rising for. So
yes.
She can hopefully bring some of that to the racetrack. Should be a really nice horse to follow.
Mm.
Really interesting, Willow. Anything bloodstock corner wise now? This hasn't gone out officially, but it might by the time that this podcast is released, is an exciting offer. Now, are we allowed to talk pricing and kind of shares available on a podcast?
I'm not too sure.
We'll keep it very grey. But
I think maybe we won't talk about pricing, but we'll just say we've got a Christmas in July offer for our Royal Meeting Rowesha filly we loved from Adelaide. We obviously gave it to everyone who attended on Sunday, but it's really good value offer for the remainder of July, a Christmas in July offer. She's a very affordable option. She's been broken in right now. She's got a great attitude, really nice horse, one that Ned and I absolutely loved when we saw her at the sales in Adelaide. Yeah, so there'll be an email going out, and if you listen and you want to get in contact, just give one of us a call. Our numbers are very easy to find. So, feel free to reach out. There's a bit of an offer there that was handed out on Sunday that we're happy to extend to people who are listening to the end of July. So, really exciting there. We touched on it off the bat earlier. The season launch is coming up in a couple of weeks. The 8th of August, the Saturday. As we said, there is very limited spots available. And a little bit of movement on a golf day front as well, Willow. Yes.
Some really exciting stuff in the planning meeting yesterday was discussed. I was sitting there, I was trying to just contain my excitement a little bit because there is some really cool stuff in the works there. Yeah, so that'll be in October. We'll confirm a date. I think it's the 23rd, but I need to be, I could be wrong. Anyway, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a big day. We're going to have plenty of things going on in terms of getting involved in horses. We've got a hole-in-one. We've got a longest drive, but we'll send out something in the coming weeks around that. But it should be a great day, and can't wait. As we get closer to the end of the podcast, Zouwin still sits at 200-1. Right, I need someone else to open up. But anyway. Then to kind of wrap it up, is there also an opportunity for a few businesses to get on board with the golf day if they are listening and want to reach out? Yeah, so we will be approaching businesses, but we can basically, how it's going to work is businesses are going to sponsor each hole. Yep. Geez, I'm going well here. Sponsor each hole, put up all their branding and marketing on each hole. That will obviously get you entry into the golf day. And then we're going to have some pop-up bars and I guess activations around the course as well. So if you want to get involved, please let us know. That brings us towards the end as we need a best bet for the weekend, Willow. I foolishly bet against our own horse on last week, so I won't make the same mistake. Well, it came last, and I had that as well. So that was great. Well, I'm going well. I think my two tips from the stable have come last both times. So it's good, really. Yeah, going well. But I will be, if you can get 200-1, I would be having $1 on that of Zouwin. You're going to make that your best, but you'll be an absolute hero if that is. It can't. It just. How's it 200? I'm surprised that you haven't come in and really confidently tipped. I know we've given him a good push, but Officiate at $9 is a fantastic bet. Yeah. They're both going to run well. Very confident. But 201 is very interesting. If we're looking outside of the stable, Will, have you got anything for us? I've got one. I have not looked. I'll give you one that I think it's quite short. The price has just come up, but Surnow in race 3 over the 1100 in a very small field. That is a very high quality race with the likes of Volcanic Express and Lingani in the field. He should get control and be very hard to catch. He's a very tough horse, and he's got 58 kilos on his back. Yeah, he's a great horse. He's very trustworthy, and I imagine he'll be getting the job done on Saturday. That brings us to the end, Willow. Yes, I've got to go. Yeah, we really appreciate everyone for tuning in, and if you've got any thoughts, any feedback, any ideas and topics to talk about. Feedback is a gift. That's what I always say, Wolf. We'd love a bit of interaction. So we'll catch you guys next week, and hope everyone's enjoying it and they can back a winner on Saturday. All right, thank you.